take questions on the game. You'd like to start?
Ralf, hi. You've probably been the most critical you have been of your players from the quotes I've seen on TV, saying embarrassing, maybe humiliating, an invitation, pressing invitation, etc. Why is it you just had enough of what you're seeing?
Sorry, say the last.
Are you just having enough of what you're seeing on the pitch? Is this why you're so sort of critical tonight?
I mean, we have to be critical with ourselves, because what we played in the first 45 minutes was not in no area just what we wanted to see and what we wanted to play. Since we had all our defensive midfielders, our few natural ball winners not available, we decided to go for a back five. To be honest, I decided that directly after the game against Norwich, in which we also, if we're very honest, allowed them to have 5 or 6 massive opportunities to score. And if it hadn't it been for David in goal, we could have easily conceded 3 or 4 goals against Norwich at home. So that's why I decided to go for an additional central defender. I don't think at all that the first half had anything to do with our formation. It had to do with the way that we played the game. And the way that we conceded the first goal was definitely not part of the game plan, to allow them a transitional moment like the one that happened. And then obviously being 1-0 down, that also affected our confidence level again. So the first half was just not good enough at all. We then changed. We changed from a back 5 to a back 4 again. I think the first 25 minutes of the second half was better, a lot better. But still, in those moments that we had, we didn't score a goal. That might have changed the game again if we had scored a goal, but we didn't. And the way that we prepared, I have to say, the third goal again was exactly those kind of balls that were on the blacklist of things that we shouldn't do against Liverpool. A 12-yard pass into Anthony Elanga, who is not a player for that kind of ball. They're just waiting for those kind of balls, Liverpool, and then we conceded the third one.
I believe you also said that United are 6 years behind Liverpool. Can you expand on that? Why is it so much distance to catch up?
Yeah, because Jürgen came 6 years ago, and if you compare the squad that he inherited, and I think he came after 8 or 9 games in that season, in the end finished 8th. This is where roundabout we currently are. He had a point average in that season of 1.6, but with every transfer window after that, they developed the kind of squad that they had today. And again, I'm not blaming anyone, not my players, nor anybody else, but we just have to realize what kind of squad they had available today. Look at their bench. Look at even 4 players that they were not even in their squad. Roberto Firmino was the only one that was injured. Oxlade-Chamberlain not in the squad. Minamino not in the squad. Harvey Elliott not in the squad. This is just shows what kind of quality squad and team they have built together, and working together with Jürgen and his team in the last 6 years. This is not only a question of quality of players, it's also a question of how they play together, what kind of mentality do they have, what kind of energy, what kind of physicality compared with speed, high speed. I would say they have 25 Formula One racing cars in their squad.
You spoke before the game about how the team might need at least 5 signings in the summer after an embarrassment like tonight. How many players need to leave the squad? Because it looks like a lot of them have just mentally checked out now. Their head's not there.
I don't think so, to be honest. No, I don't think that they have mentally checked out. It's just a different level. They have better players than we have, if you look at it in total. And this is what was reflected by the result today. So there will be a rebuild for sure, but right now that doesn't help us because we still have another 5 games to play. So that there has to be a rebuild for me was clear even when I came in December, and after the first 3 or 4 weeks for me that was obvious. But right now it doesn't help, and for us it's extremely embarrassing also as a coaching staff to have press conferences like the one we have right now. But we just have to admit they are better than us.
Ralf, you mentioned being self-critical. Do you think the players are critical enough? Do you think the club is critical enough of itself?
Sorry, again?
You mentioned being self-critical. I just wondered if you think the players are critical enough of themselves and the club, the wider structure is critical enough of itself.
I think so, yes. We had a conversation in the locker room right now where Bruno also said something towards the team, and I said something. But yeah, in the end, right now, it doesn't help. We have to hope for some injured players coming back for Saturday, and then just take it again game by game. I don't think it makes sense to speculate about our chances to finish in the top 4 after a performance like the one today. The only thing that we can do is put our focus on the next game, and this is on Saturday away at Arsenal.
Ralf, can you give us any insight into what you're saying then to the players to, I suppose, challenge them to make sure you can get the best out of them to give you any kind of chance of finishing this high up the table?
I mean, what I tell them in the locker room stays there, obviously, but in general, it was similar to what I was saying now. I mean, that we were just not up to it in the first half. We didn't win a single second ball. In most of the first ball situations, we were just spectators. We were onlookers, what was happening on the pitch. And this is, if you play like that against a team like Liverpool, then it's difficult.
Why is that happening all the time? That's what everyone's wondering. Everyone's looking at the way this team is playing, thinking, how can this happen? They're top professionals. You earn lots of money to play for Manchester United. It's just, what you're describing there is basic football stuff. Why is it happening?
Yeah, but if you cannot get hold of the ball, if you cannot put at least a little bit of pressure on the ball against a team like Liverpool, yeah, because we just didn't. We just didn't attack them. We didn't dare to attack them. It almost looked as if they were afraid to be outplayed. But again, in the second half, this was better. The first 25 minutes showed that we could cause them problems if we tried to put pressure on them, but this didn't happen in the first half.
What was the problem with Paul when he came off earlier?
Yeah, he seems to have problems with his calf, quite similar to Fred. So he seems to have pulled his muscle, his calf muscle, and right now I don't think that he will be available for the next 2 games.
Ralf, you said it, you're 6 years behind Liverpool. Would a new manager get that time to rebuild that?
Why not?
It just change every 2-3 years.
Why? Yeah, but why not? I mean, why? This is not a question of the city. I mean, even in our own city, it happened with Pep. He came 6 years ago. So, if you look at those two clubs who are currently dominating the Premier League, they did exactly that. They brought in 2 managers, but not only did they bring in 2 managers, they also changed the whole thing with regard to formation. What kind of players do we need? What kind of football do we want to play? I mean, the headline of everything was, how do we want to play? And underneath this headline, in every transfer window, they created the team that they have in both clubs.
The one people who not played are
Pardon?
The one group you haven't played are the owners. The fans want the owners out. Maybe the owners are part of the problem. What do you think? Would you agree with that?
I don't know. I don't think so. But I mean, any owner should, if you analyze the situation, it's not that difficult to analyze. The team needs a rebuild, not because some players have to go, but quite a few players have no contracts anymore. Their contracts are expiring. And therefore, for me, it's clear that there will be, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 new players. And then before you sign those players, you need to be aware, how do you want to play? What kind of football does the new manager want to play? And then take it from there, and then bring every single player fitting into that kind of profile.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.